my name is Christian Owens, and I work here at Trailside Museums and Zoo. Today we're going to talk about antlers. So let's get straight to the point.
What is an antler? Well, an antler is a specialized structure that's made out of bone that grows on the head of members of the deer family. So we have two whitetail deer skulls, a male, which is also known as a buck, and a female. And as you can tell, the female does not have any antlers or any signs of antlers, and the male here has two.
Now, they are similar, but a horn is very different. And the biggest difference with a horn is that they actually make a noise.
So the difference is that a horn is actually attached to the skull forever. So once that animal is born, it is not coming off. So you can see the kind of the bone portion. This is a doll sheep, not native to this area. And here we have the typical part of the horn that you might see. And this part is actually made out of keratin, which is the same stuff that our fingernails and hair are made out of.
An antler, however, will usually fall off between December and March or April, depending where you live. Usually, only males of the deer family will have antlers, but occasionally, with some unique instances, or with caribou, the females also grow some, but usually they're a little smaller.
Antlers have two main uses. The first one is for defense. And the second one is to attract females.
Now, white-tailed deer are not the only animals that grow antlers. They're not the only kinds of deer. So, another member of the deer family, which we don't see too often around here, more or less more northwards, is the moose. And they have these huge antlers. This one is unique because it is basically like a two in one side. So this was on one side of one moose, and this weighs probably around 30, 40, 50 pounds. So that's a big antler.
Many other animals have antlers as well, such as elk, reindeer, mule deer, and many more. If you're out walking in the woods and it's fall, you'll probably see a buck that will have an antler that looks like this. Give or take a few of these points, maybe the size, but it's this kind of bone white cream color. And in the spring and summer, you'll see something kind of wrapped around it. Maybe the antler might be a little smaller or full size or even bigger. And the stuff that's wrapped around it is called velvet. It's kind of fuzz. It looks like fuzz. And the reason why that they have this velvet that goes around the antler is to help it grow. It supplies blood to the bone so it can grow larger. With an antler, there comes special words or different ways we kind of describe it. And you might hear it in describing different size of bucks. So here, this main part of the antler is called the beam. Makes sense. It kind of holds all the other smaller parts together. And each of these smaller ones are called tines, or often referred to as points. And you can have smaller tines that grow off of it, but typically you'll see kind of antlers that are this size from a white-tailed deer. When you hear somebody refer to a buck as an 8-pointer, or a 6-pointer, 4-pointer, spike, fork, they are referring to the number of points or the number of tines. Say, for instance, that the antler on the other side is exactly symmetrical. Can be, but not exactly. Deer with 1, 2, 3 tines on this side, and on the other side, if it was 3, would be a 6-point buck. Usually, the amount of tines and the size of the antlers stops growing around 4 to 5 years old. There's always exceptions. And again, it's based off of nutrition, where they are, So a white-tailed deer that lives in the Northeast or a certain part of the Northeast might grow kind of a different curve or different size antler to one that lives in the Southeast United States. So it's a little differences, but absolutely fascinating.
Thank you so much for watching our video, and we hope to see you at Trailside Museums and Zoo so you can check out our beautiful natural world. Now, I'll be seeing you guys on the trail.